as a young mother, if you don't do the me time and you're not in that position of balance.
Hello and welcome to the Love Who You Are podcast with IshqME. This is a show where we talk about all things fashion, lifestyle, and self-care for the modern woman. Today we kick off our first episode of the series, and it's got to be super special. So we have Deepa, our founder, today from IshqME. So Deepa, tell us about your journey with IshqME so far.
First of all, hi Archana.
Hi.
It's been an amazing journey. I have to be honest that it's sometimes not so great also, but when you bring passion and you just wake up with that passion and you find something that you relate with, it's so easy to wake up in the morning and show up at work and enjoy yourself that it doesn't even feel like work.
So tell us, why IshqME? Why the name IshqME?
IshqME literally means love who you are, self-love. And this was like during COVID, where we had to do everything with family, just cooped up in the house, had to work also, and it was very difficult to find that time for yourself, because I am a person who has always carved that time for self-care from very, very young, because I had my kids very, very young, so it was very important for me. And this COVID period made it like completely difficult to do that. And that is when I realized that, it's been such a huge part of who I am that I need to, intentionally carve out that time again. So then when I started thinking about what to do, and I even wrote a script, a film script during COVID. I really kept myself busy. I would wake up at 4 in the morning so that I'm all alone in the house. And that's when this whole idea of putting pen to paper, designing something and all started. So when I started that, obviously the next thing was what should I name this brand? It started with jewelry. So what should I name this brand? And then I saw that, I'm taking out so much time early in the morning for myself to do this with passion. And that is where I realized and literally named the brand IshqME.
That's amazing, actually. And something that you said really stuck out to me, which is basically intentionally carving out that time. I think what most people don't realize is me time is not that 5 minutes of a coffee break you take,
No.
in the middle of a work day. It's that
No.
intentional time that everyone needs to carve out for themselves,
Correct.
right? And I think as modern women, most women forget to do that for themselves, right? Why do you think that is?
I think women traditionally have been guilt tripped that when they take out time for themselves, they're being selfish, because it's always been portrayed that women have to only give unconditionally.
Yeah.
So I think it's just become a fabric. That's what is related to a woman now.
Right.
So, now, I see this new generation, they really take out time for themselves. I'm glad that they're doing it. But I think the movement still has to reach further audience.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women are not realizing that only if you take out that time to re-energize yourself, can you nurture others around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, you're just going to be one cranky person and not even think straight.
Yeah, and actually that brings me to the topic of mental health, and how it's so related to me time, right? The research shows that taking out time for yourself is really beneficial for your mental health, right? So how do you think, what do you think in me time is so specific that brings that level of mental health, that peace or that relaxation to a person?
See, it's finding that right balance, because everything is so interconnected. No, if you don't slow down and you don't live in the moment, you're going to be in fight or flight response all the time, and that is going to trigger stress, and stress is going to upset your hormones, organs. You see so many women having all this
Stress
PCOD,
manifests,
and
yes,
it
exactly.
manifests in so
in physical
many different ways.
Definitely. I myself face like stress migraines, so I absolutely get what you mean, right? So along with the mental health aspect of it, right, we do understand, say like I said, we stress manifests physically, right?
Correct.
So I think a lot of me time for me also, it personally means carving out time to do things to ensure that I am also physically healthy and fit, right?
Correct.
Throughout the day, throughout like for the rest of my life as well, right?
Yeah.
So how important do you think that is, and what is your me time routine in that sense?
I take multiple me times, Archana. I don't carve intentionally sometime. I have this tendency to become blank every half an hour, or probably just to read what I like. There's so many things I do. I get up early in the morning, I meditate. That's critical to me. I do yoga in the morning, I do pranayam. Then I'm very, very particular about going to the gym.
Amazing.
So, and I've always done this even when my kids were really, really small. I mean, I used to go to the yoga class with my son when he was like literally crawling. So he used to also, copy the poses and things like that. And then itself, when I used to drop them for their tennis class and things like that, I used to go to the gym nearby.
Okay.
So, I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. So the idea is, again, like you said, intentionally to carve out that time wherever you find the time, even as a busy woman.
Yes. Create those multiple times for yourself, because then only when you are in the present moment can you nurture people around you, including at work. Otherwise, if you yourself are not calm, you are not going to lead calmly either.
Absolutely. So do you think like, personal experiences that you've had over life, over time, help, shape your view of what self-care is, right? Like for me, self-care may be something so entirely different to what it may be to you. So do you think
Absolutely, because we as a tribe of women are inherently creative, right? So like for my grandmom, the me time would look like cooking. I mean, for you and me, it may be really like a chore, right? So everybody has their own things that they like and love to do, and that's what they should do in their me time. Whether it's art, whether it's photography, whatever goes.
Absolutely. And I think like you've been very rigid, like you've been so strict about the fact that you need to have me time from a really long time now. Correct. Right? Even when your kids were young.
Correct. Now I don't have to try hard.
Now you don't have to try very hard. But unfortunately, that's not the case with a lot of women out there, right? There are, like, you see a lot of women especially struggling with carving out that me time every day. In fact, so much so that it's leading to burnout at work, it's leading to a lot of like physical and mental stress, so what would you suggest to anyone who's struggling with that? How do we get started on carving out that little bit of me time for ourselves?
Everybody has a phone. Instead of scrolling all the time, set alarms, intentional alarms every 40 minutes, probably just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Be in the present moment. Just do something that you enjoy. If it's just listening to poetry or whatever works for you.
Absolutely. So I think setting alarms. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that as well, Deepa. So let's talk about productivity. How productivity and me time are so interrelated, right? I've read up so much about the fact there are so many studies that show that taking me time intentionally, right, is productive. But the weirdest thing is, if you look at how it's generally perceived, me time is often being seen in doing something selfish, being unproductive, right? So talking about all of this, I want to also like bust this myth that me time is unproductive, right? It's often seen as something that you should be guilty about taking, or you're not being a very productive person, right? But there are studies that show quite the opposite. There are studies that show that taking out time for yourself is in fact very productive. It kind of energizes you back again, right? Correct. So what do you think about productivity and how it's related to me time, and how important do you think that is?
Without me time, you cannot be productive. I mean, what is productive? That's the question, right? Absolutely. Are you going to just work? Then you're going to get stuck in a rut. But if you take out that space, and even while attacking a problem, right? If you step away from the problem and do something else, and then you come back to a problem, you are in a better position to solve that problem.
Absolutely.
If you keep sitting with that problem and you just keep thinking about the problem, you're not going to solve it, because you're just going to get sucked into it and get stressed.
Absolutely. So is that how the atmosphere in the IshqME office is also is me time?
Hope so. I guess you have to do another session with the team.
Yeah. No, but how often like do you encourage your employees to take, breaks at work, right? How is that environment at IshqME?
The breaks are not questioned at all, and for me it is so important when they take those breaks and I can hear that laughter,
Yeah.
that I know, okay, the organization is going
It's
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yes, culture is important.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. So, how is me time you taking me time help you productively in your business and in your personal life?
See, I hope my family can answer this also, because I think when I've started taking so much of me time, I'm a more balanced person, and I'm able to think straight. I'm better at my relationships, and at work. Every day there is a problem to tackle, right? So it keeps me in a calm place where I'm able to deal with whatever comes in a calm fashion, instead of losing it and yelling, and that spoils the environment, that
Absolutely.
makes the entire environment negative.
Yeah.
So it's very important at a leadership level or at any level, even if as a young mother, if you don't do the me time and you're not in that position of balance, you will tend to be stressed, and you will take out that stress on your kid, and the kid will take out on somebody else, and
It's just a chain
it's just that
yeah.
butterfly effect will keep going.
Absolutely. I personally find taking me time, like taking, these me time breaks so productive, because I think my best ideas come when I'm the most relaxed, right? So when I do my me time activities, which is usually, just sit back and relax and do my skincare.
My best ideas come in the loo.
Yeah. So my best ideas come when I'm taking, like, just some time off myself.
Correct.
So again, that kind of like busts the myth of, that me time.
So what
is
do
not
you
a-
do in your me time?
My me time is usually sitting by the pottery wheel. I love to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and also skincare. I'm just obsessed with just going, giving myself a nice chumpy and like reading a book, watching probably some trash Bollywood movie, which is a guilty
Those are
pleasure
always
of
good.
mine.
Yes, those are always good.
Which is a guilty pleasure of mine, and just relax. Not think about something. Just not let my mind wander into work.
Oh yes,
or
mind can wander.
Yes,
Mind can wander.
Yeah.
That's why it becomes so important to keep it under your control than
Absolutely.
being in its control.
Absolutely. And I often I tried meditation, and for some reason for me meditation makes my mind wander more, so I try to do my more distractive methods of me time, where
I keep saying this, meditation is not for everybody.
Not for everyone.
Not for
yes.
everybody.
After trying it, I can definitely say it's not for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Because if you
others.
do something that you are interested in and you lose yourself in it, that's also
That is
meditation.
also meditation. Exactly. I was literally having this conversation with a bunch of my friends recently, and we literally said the same thing. I was complaining about how I want to meditate, but I just can't seem to. But then one person pointed out that me sitting at the pottery wheel for hours on end,
Correct. It's
with
meditation.
singular focus on creating something, is also meditation. So, and that kind of changed my view on what I saw as, my self-care routine, right? So now I don't see pottery as a hobby I indulge in, but it's also something I do for my mental and physical well-being.
So when you're doing it, do you have any other thoughts that come in?
Absolutely none.
Exactly, there you go.
It's a tough, it's an unforgiving medium of art. So if I get distracted, my piece gets distracted. So it's something that requires full focus as well. So it's honestly very cathartic. So you should try sometime. You should definitely try
I'll come.
sometime. Yes, definitely. Right. So overall, I think taking me time every day, right, definitely will have long-term impacts, long-term benefits, right? It's not like a quick fix, not like a one thing, like it's an ongoing process, right? So what would you say is really important, at least like small steps for someone to start out with, right? Someone who assume hasn't taken me time ever, right? Who's just starting on this journey of taking me time. So what would be like, say, 3 things you would tell them, hey, listen, these are 3 small things you can start doing just to get started on your journey with me time on a daily basis. Small things. It could be 5-minute stuff that they could do.
It again depends on where you are in your journey in life. So if you are a young mother, I will say please wake up before everybody else in the house, right? And take that 1 hour slot for yourself and do something that you enjoy before your family wakes up. For youngsters who go to work, I would say that the alarm system. Make sure every 40 minutes, instead of scrolling Insta or whatever, take out some time to read or whatever you enjoy doing. Or you just be present in the present moment. Just go and look at a beautiful flower outside, right? But take that time to just breathe and then go back to work. Two things I've said.
I mean,
Think of a third.
the alarm thing is a great idea. I mean, I think I'm going to start, I used to set alarms when I was working full time, every 45 minutes, just to stop looking at the screen, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So, that the 2020 rule that I don't know if you've heard of it. It's that rule where they say, don't look at a screen for more than 20 minutes, and once 20 minutes are up, look away for 20 seconds and then look back, right? So that your eyes also, like, scientifically there is some focus back, you bring focus back, right? So I think now it's not just about bringing focus back in terms of your eyes and your brain. It's also about me time. So I think the alarm system will be absolutely wonderful. I personally am going to
I would say that whatever you do in your me time, don't pull out your phone.
Yes, don't pull out your phone. But unfortunately, I think, like for me, for example, right, I love to read. It's a part of my daily routine as well, right? But I end up reading either on my phone or on my Kindle. So unfortunately, I think technology is so intertwined in our lives.
Yeah, you can listen to a podcast.
Exactly. So I think it's just that don't use your phone for mindless activities.
Scrolling,
I would say.
yeah.
So the doom scrolling is something that we have to keep aside to
Because
actually
you're again
intentionally
just activating or overstimulating the brain, right?
yeah.
Then there's no point in that me time.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you think it's important to intentionally carve out a specific hobby for me time, or do you think it's okay to just do something as simple as just take 20 minutes out and watch a fun show or something like that?
Varying things like this 5 minutes break where you're present and enjoying a rose. But I think a hobby is very important for anybody at any life stage, right?
Yeah.
You should have something that you're learning on a constant level and feeling passionately about.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's there in life?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with a lot of people, especially with younger people nowadays, especially with Gen Z, you also see this pattern where hobbies are also kind of becoming a side hustle, like an income on the side, so that doesn't hurt as well, right? Like you're doing something you love, and you're making some money out of it. So hey, maybe a hobby should be something everyone should take up. So I think there you have it, right? The power of me time. I think it's not just about taking a break. It's about prioritizing mental and physical health as well, right? So
in fact, I had an employee who used to work during the day, and her passion was actually in sketching. So she used to go back and she did a side hustle of doing storyboards.
Oh, amazing!
For some film. So she enjoyed that. So she managed both, right?
Yeah.
Like what you said, the side hustle.
Yeah, the side hustle. No, it's great. I think it's amazing. I mean, but again, like it brings us back to the conversation that not everyone is fortunate enough to be able to carve that me time out. For some people, work is super overwhelming, right? And we're hoping to cover all of those in our future episodes as well, where we talk about help people out, carve that me time, and just show them how beneficial even that 15 minutes a day, if you carve out for yourself, could be.
That 15 minutes, it sounds like a lot to many.
Yeah.
That's why I said 5 minutes. Start small. 5 minutes every 45 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Yeah.
That's great. So maybe we should give our listeners the task for the thing. Maybe take a book and read, or maybe like create something.
How many people read nowadays?
I don't know. I mean, I love to read. I don't think it's. I still think it's a great way to get lost in an entirely new world.
Yes. I agree because I love to read.
Yeah, but I'm a purely fictional reader. I cannot do non-fiction books at all. That's for me. Those topics are very well covered by podcasts. I'm also a heavy podcast listener. So for me, reading is all about getting lost in this fictional world that someone else has created, and it's just very immersive.
Audiobooks are also so good
Audiobooks
now.
are so great now. Yeah, they're so great right now. And I think the way the narration in some audiobooks are is just beautiful to listen to. So yeah, I mean, I think hobbies are very important, right? Like, I think I wouldn't have survived working as long as I have so far if I didn't have hobbies to keep me going, right?
Correct.
Like some of the things I do very often right now are just hobbies I started as a weekend thing to just get over, the burnout, the fatigue of, just working day in and day out.
Correct.
So I think they have been like saviors for me. So I absolutely understand your point of, like, why hobbies are
So
very
what are you
important.
learning on weekends?
Now pottery is one. I told you I practice
Yeah.
pottery. I also learn Latin dancing, so I'm learning salsa, bachata, kizomba,
Nice.
fun dancing. A great way to, like, just get some exercise in. And they're all social dance forms, right? So you also get to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm an extrovert on steroids, so I feel like that kind of like also fulfills that part of me where I get to meet so many people, meet a whole bunch of people.
Social interaction is also important for the brain.
For the brain, exactly. So that's been my weekend hobbies. Why don't you tell everyone what your hobbies are at
I
the
have
moment?
so many, Archana. I love cooking. I love to read. I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
So okay, tell us what's your current trade.
I listen to The Dutch House by Anne Patchett.
Okay, what is it
And
about?
it's a fiction book on
Okay.
Audible.
Audible, okay.
Yeah. So
Is it
I
something
finished
that you would
that.
recommend?
Then and non-fiction, I love this book by Daniel Coyle called The Culture Code.
Oh, great. Alright, so I think that's 2 book recommendations I have, and hopefully whoever's watching us also has.
Oh, The Culture Code is amazing. I mean, I swear by it. And if you are running a company, I think it's an amazing read.
Oh, great. I hope they podcast it soon, because I don't think I can do a non-fiction read, but I'm going to attempt it.
You can see, I'm sure there must be something on YouTube. Everything
is on YouTube
available now.
That's great. So yes, so Deepa, what advice would you give to women who struggle with all of this, right? What we just spoke about.
Who am I to give advice, Archana?
Why are you not someone who can give advice? You are someone I see as someone who successfully is running a company, but also carving out so much me time for herself, right? So if you have nailed that, I'm sure other women who are struggling to, get there will definitely be able to get inspired.
I wouldn't
by
want
you
to
or-
advise anyone, but I mean, whatever I have said till now, if you can just incorporate just five minutes, you will start definitely seeing the difference, the shift in your personality, and that radiance you will radiate around you, right? And you'll be able to do whatever you want, whether you're running your house, whether you're running a business. It's very important for your body mind equilibrium to be there.
Absolutely, Deepa. I think this is a great tip. I mean, even though you don't call it as advice,
No.
this is something that I think
Our
everyone
brand
should.
also is not anything like that. We are
Yes.
a BFF brand.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, more than advice, it's like I go to my best friends for advice, right? So this is something that I would want, to get from IshqME as well. Advice from IshqME. Like, if that IshqME is supposed to be my best friend, then why not, right? So yes, I think carving out 5 minutes per day, that's the way to go, guys. And thank you so much, Deepa, for this
Thank
insightful
you.
conversation, and thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us, guys. Be sure to subscribe for more episodes, and why don't you share this podcast with all your friends who require a little bit of me time in their daily lives. See you.